Let's talk about our brand new signing, guys. Randall Kolo Muani. We've gathered all the stats and the facts and the figures, and we're going to go through and tell you why Frank wanted Kolo Muani and why Kolo Muani is going to absolutely smash it at Tottenham Hotspur this season.
All right, so we've looked at... Look, a lot of people are wondering about Muani because... Obviously, we went for him in January. A lot of people thinking, is this just an average mid player who we're getting on a loan deal because no one wants him and he's nothing special? Or is this someone to be excited about? Is this
no one apart from Juventus.
Huh?
No one apart from Juventus.
Well, wanted him.
Yeah.
It was obviously much sought after in January, not just by us, other clubs as well. And obviously Juve signed him and then wanted to re-sign him, but for some reason, I don't know if I think they had money problems or they went for a Pender instead last minute, pulled out of the deal. So I think, look, there's a lot of reasons for us to be excited about what Muani is going to bring to us and how good he is. And I think the numbers back up why he's going to be a really good signing. First of all, I think, let's bring up, his career stats. Yeah, bring that up. I think these are important to look at. I think a lot of people say, I've heard a lot of people say, he's only had one really good season in his whole career, and that's where a lot of people base off how good a player he is and stuff like that. I think there's some validity to that. I think everyone points to that Frankfurt season where he got 37 goal contributions in 46 games, and that was really his unbelievable season, which he had. But I think if you look at his goal contribution to minutes in all his seasons, is pretty strong and pretty impressive. Obviously at Nantes in League One, he got set 15 and 17 goal contributions at 21 and 22 years of age. So those were pretty good. That's why he got his move to Frankfurt. Obviously he had that amazing season at Frankfurt, 37 goal contributions in 40 90-minute appearances, or 40 equivalent to 40 90s. So incredible season. Then got his move to PSG. And the thing is, on the face of it, he made 40 appearances and got 15 goal contributions. Not that impressive. But if you drill down into the actual minutes played, 21 90-minute appearances, or no, 21 90s, 15 goal contributions. So his minutes to goal contributions are very impressive. That next season, again, it says here 14 appearances, 3 goal contributions. And on face it, not that impressive, but 5 90s. And so he really wasn't playing much, and he was still kind of getting goal contributions in the little minutes he was playing. Went to Juve, did pretty well, 10 goal contributions in 16 or 90s, and then had a decent Club World Cup. So pretty much everywhere he's been a regular goal contributor, is my point, with the minutes he's gotten. So I think the talk of saying he's only had one great season, the reality is when he's been on the pitch, when he plays, he does give you regular goal contributions.
Yeah, and look, I think it's true what you're saying, but there's a clear reason. There must be a reason why he wasn't fancied at PSG. He got a massive move, isn't it? 95 million. And, we can all sit here and look at purely the numbers of goal contributions per 90, but there's got to be a reason why his move to PSG didn't work out. Because you would think that after smashing it at Eintracht Frankfurt, going back to a league where he grew up in the French league, going to the best team there who are going to create the most amount of chances for him, you would think he would absolutely go and smash it there and they would love him. 95 million euros they paid for him. Why didn't it work out there? What's the reason why it didn't work out there?
Yeah, so you look, Enrique didn't fancy him for one reason or another. It's tough to say exactly why. We know, obviously, there's been a lot of change over... They weren't even doing that well up until beginning of last season.
Was it Enrique that signed him?
Yeah, I think so. Is this Enrique's third season? Or wasn't it Enrique who signed him?
No, I'm just asking. I don't know.
I'm trying to think, because it wasn't Poch. And I think Enrique took over from Poch, didn't he?
So what year did he join there?
2023.
So he joined there 2023, and Enrique, started in 2023.
Yeah,
so it was his first summer.
Yeah, so they had a lot of problems, PSG, even up until the beginning of last season. Remember, they travelled to Arsenal in the Champions League in I think, October time or something, and they will wipe the floor with them, and they were terrible. And they were really struggling even in the group phase. They scraped through the Champions League group phase until everything changed. And he made lots of big changes. So, I don't know. Enrique made big changes there at PSG. I think Muani was one of them. Even Mbappe, like, he was, they got a lot better when he left. Like, I don't know why exactly Muani wasn't fancied. I think, I don't know. I think when you're comparing Muani to the strikers, to the forward line now and what he likes, I think Muani's just a bit different. I think Muani really likes playing in transition. He likes playing with a lot of space. Whereas you've got forwards now with Kavisha, Barcola, Doué, Dembele, who like to play, in the tight spaces. They're very technical. Very different types of forwards and probably look better in certain ways. And so I think when you're playing for PSG and you're playing against teams who are basically sitting and defending for 90 minutes, maybe Muani's not the kind of player you want and isn't going to be the most suited to that.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you're trying to translate that into Tottenham,
I think it works.
It works in certain games and it's not going to work in other certain games. Like when we play Man Cities and stuff like that, then yeah, it's going to be brilliant. When they play a high line against us, but there's going to be plenty of teams that drop deep and don't let us play and are going to let us have the ball.
Yeah, I know, but I think I think how Frank likes to play is he likes us to be very transitional. I think that is what he's going to aim to do in most games. It didn't work against Bournemouth, obviously, but I think for those games, I think that's what Muani's going to bring to us, and I think he's going to be perfect for it. I think Frank's going to love him. I think Frank's really going to like him. I
agree, but I think there'll be some games that he'll go for Richarlison and go for that more physical, drop deep, link-up play striker that we saw in the first 2 games of the season. And then I think in the really big games where, like the Man Cities, the Liverpools, where it's going to be a proper transitional team, then I think Muani that's going to be his bread and butter for us.
Yeah, I think Richarlison's obviously a better penalty box striker, but I think when it comes to like being all round, like a player who can take people on, get the ball on his feet, travel over large distances, running in behind, you got Muani's the guy for that. And I think he's also a decent penalty box striker. He's maybe just not as good as Richarlison, but he still has that to his game as well. He's not like he's just one thing. But I think. I just think, for some reason Enrique didn't like him. I haven't spoken to him. I don't know. Maybe I need to speak to a PSG fan to know why exactly it didn't work out. It went so horribly wrong for him. But at the end of the day, it seemed as though when he was playing, he did seem to score or assist like regularly for them.
I guess the positive thing as well, like even how wrong it went at PSG, like you said, the goals per 90 kind of still was a decent record, and still he's being called up to the French squad. And you don't get called up to the French squad if you're a dud of a player, do you?
Yeah.
With the plethora of talent that they have, particularly in the forward line, it'd be easy to leave him out if he was flopping and if he wasn't doing well. So that indicates to me that we've got a very good player on our hands here. Yeah,
and he went to Juve and I think he did pretty well. I think Juve wanted him back. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but I think he did pretty well there. He was he was pretty streaky,
well,
I think.
Fortunately, it didn't happen.
Yeah, fortunately for us, but I feel like he didn't let the PSG thing get him down. I think he's gone to Juve and done quite well, but I think people there's this. I guess the narrative is because it hasn't worked out in the last couple of years for him. Like there's this narrative that his career's just fallen by the wayside. I think that's just not quite what's real about his career. I think he's still a very good player and he's still got a lot to offer, and I think there's a lot of reasons to be excited. In terms of versatility, you can see if you bring up his positions where he's played throughout his career, so clearly predominantly a centre forward. That's his favourite position. Has played a fair number of games on the wing. 34 odd, it says it, with mixed success, I think it's fair to say. But I think, clearly he's a striker. That's where he likes to play.
Yeah.
That's
Frank did say in his interview when Muani signed, he's a player that can play across the whole front three, and that's kind of where he sees him. But, there's not that much evidence of that throughout his career. He's had minimal amount of time on the wings.
Yeah. He's played there. I think that's also something at PSG. I think he was shunted out on the wing quite a bit compared to at Frankfurt is very much a forward, a striker. I think it's a position he can play. It's not his favourite position. I think, in a weird way, under Frank, the wide position might, especially off the left, he might be all right there because the way we like to play it. If he plays in like how Johnson plays it, it could suit him, I think, and do it to a better way than Johnson does. But yeah, he's definitely a player who would prefer to play up front. Yeah, similar to how like Richarlison can play off the left, I guess.
Yeah, no, I don't doubt that. I just feel as well like two signings that we made are going to complement each other so well, and that's him and Xavi Simons. I felt like him and Xavi Simons are going to do so well together. I think they're going to strike up such a big bond and relationship on the pitch with the creativity and the take-on skills that Xavi Simons has, and with the ability of running in behind and finishing that Randall Kolo Muani has. I think that could be a match made in heaven.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think they'll have some really good link up. Let's look at his heat map. So this is his heat map. This is him when he was at Juve. I think this tells a story of what I'm saying, that he can kind of do a bit of both. He's quite good. He likes to pick up the ball outside the box. You can see quite a lot of concentration outside the box, but also inside the box as well. He actually is quite good at getting the ball on the half turn and taking a quick snapshot inside the box. So he's quite good he gets a lot of touches in the box, and he's quite good at that. So he does have that to his locker, but I think when it comes to his ability from outside the box, I think he's very good compared to our other strikers. Getting the ball, running at players, turning, and being comfortable having the ball outside the box and linking the play.
What are his metrics like for successful take-ons? Is it good? Is it strong?
So if you look at his graph, the pie chart when he was at Serie A. Yeah, that one. So the top right is like the take-on metrics, and it's pretty good. It's pretty strong. Like he attempts a lot of take-ons. His percentage is pretty decent, above average.
What is that percentage? I can't read it.
So the percentile was percentile for percentage is 57. But if you look, he attempts a lot, and he is successful in quite a lot. So the percentage might be like a bit lower. I think it's like 50% or 45%. But because he takes on so many, like his percentile for his successful take-ons are really high. So he's a good dribbler, basically, is my point. He's a good ball carrier. He's tough to get the ball off. He's strong as well, so he can shove off challenges. He can ride challenges. So that's really, really strong. Touches in the penalty area as well. You can see, look, he actually gets the ball quite a lot in the penalty, 84th percentile there. And his shooting metric is actually quite good. Like his shot on target percentage really high. So when he shoots, he tends to get it on target, like quite more often than most other strikers. His XG to shot, he's taking shots from good areas. He's not taking them from stupid angles as well.
Frank will love that.
Yeah, Frank will like that.
Absolutely love that. Because that's what he coaches into his players. Make sure you shoot from high XG positions on the pitch. And I was actually, when he did first join Juve, I was watching his first few goals as they were coming in, saying what a player we could have got. And he started on fire there, didn't he? Absolute fire. I think he scored 4 in his first 5 games.
I think in his first 3 games he had 5 goals and 1 assist.
That was it. And some of the goals that he scored, you could see such great movement in the box.
And he did that world-class assist, remember, against Inter. He did a pirouette in the box and laid off for Conceição.
So his movement in the box is brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he can come up with something a bit outside the box and a bit special as well. He can be a bit clunky at times, but I think there are some times he'll like pull off something like, wow, how the hell did he do that? Yeah. But yeah, he's sometimes a bit clunky. But yeah, it's interesting. If you look at his pie, just bring up the pie chart one more time. So yeah, this is from Serie A. So that bottom right-hand corner, that's his like creativity. And this is him at Juve, so it's quite low. Key passes quite low, progressive passes and stuff. So that was when he was at Juve, that was really low. But when you go to the one that was in the Bundesliga, no, the pie chart was in this one. it's actually really high, and he was getting a lot of assists. So he has that in him to be creative. I think in that season he got like 11 assists, and you can see his key passes was really strong, expected assists really strong, and you can see there, look, his take-ons very strong as well, back there as well, and his shooting metrics. So he was a real complete forward when he was at Frankfurt. I think that season I think he got something like 15 goals and 13 assists or something. I think, where was it at Frankfurt? 23 goals and 14 assists. He had an unbelievable season.
Well, in all comps, yeah.
That was in all comps, like incredible. Like Europa League, I think was there. Just a crazy.
Was that the year they won the Europa League?
I think it was the year after.
It was the year after.
So yeah, he was really strong, and that just shows what he's capable of. Obviously, that's in Bundesliga. It's a very open league, very transitional league. It was quite different to when he was in Serie A, but still very strong metrics.
But you would probably say that the style of play in the Serie A and the Bundesliga probably is more similar to the Premier League than the Serie A.
Yeah, true. That's a good point as well. And I did a little comparison to him and Solanke. So, sorry, actually, no, we'll do that in a minute. So what's one of his big strengths is his shooting. So, yeah, bring on that one. This was his shot map for his time at Juve. So he had 26 shots, 54% of them on target. So, again, pretty decent. You can see where he usually takes his shots from, inside the box here, inside the Whipster penalty box, albeit not too many inside the 6-yard box, most of them in that kind of area, very central around the penalty spot. But what's interesting about that is where Frank likes to have his strikers deployed, around that area. If you see the analysis of some of our games in the early parts of the season, that's where Richarlison is being deployed for a lot of them. So Muani does like that kind of spot. And you can see a lot of his goals come from there as well. So I think he's going to be suited a lot to Frank. But what's very interesting is this is his time at Juve. 8 goals from 4.7 XG, very clinical.
Wow.
Very clinical. So outperformed his XG like really significantly impressive, like very impressively. I don't know if it was quite the same as other clubs, but at Juve, massively outperformed his expected goals, which is actually very similar to Richarlison. He outperforms his XG quite well as well. The only difference is Solanke doesn't. Solanke underperforms his XG quite regularly. Not as good a finisher as the other guys.
Did he underperform it as well when he got 19 goals at Bournemouth?
I think he was like, he didn't underperform that. It wasn't overperforming though. I think it was like he got 19 XG, right. 19 goals.
Right.
And then if you look at his shooting, so go to the bar, these ones. So these are his shooting metrics. This was him at Juve as well. So that was his big strength at Juve. He was quite a sharp shooter. Got good goal metrics, good shot to goal to shot metrics, and was most of his shots he was getting on target. So that was something that took him a lot by surprise. He's quite a sharp shooter and very better than shooting than I gave him credit for, I think, when we first signed him. And that's something that is gonna, if he can marry that with obviously what he gives you with his dribbling and potentially with his assist making he added at Frankfurt, it's a very complete forward, and potentially could give you a lot more than what our current strikers do.
I mean, and I can fully back Frank to get him back to those kind of levels. I think with his coaching, with the way and the system he plays, I think he's going to be perfect for it. And I really back Frank to get him back to his best. And I wouldn't be surprised if people are very surprised about how good this guy is going to be for Tottenham. I really believe that. Yeah,
because I think people think that he's just some
I've seen people
player.
liken him to like Timo Werner and stuff like that.
Yeah, people think he's just some flop who's been just terrible for years, and we're getting him because his stock. I mean, it's partly true, we are getting him because his stock is lower, but it's like as if like this isn't a good player we're getting, and all the evidence points to he is a good player, and he has actually done well when he's been on the pitch, and for some reason at PSG it didn't work out for him. But by and large, apart from that, he's been pretty good. Like wherever he's been.
What's your prediction for how many goals he'll get in the Premier League this season?
I can see him getting somewhere between 10 to 15 goals.
Yeah, that ballpark.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if he gets more than 15, to be honest. But like between 10 and 15, something like that in that ballpark. It's going to be interesting to see who really wrestles that spot.
And do you back him to be our first choice number 9? come the end
I
of the
think
season.
he could be, yeah. I think he will very well could be, to be honest. I think because there's a good chance he's the one who stays fit. Because he also, that's another thing we didn't talk about.
That injury record he has.
He
is
has
crazy.
incredible. He's only had 2 injuries.
No, he's never had an injury.
Well, yeah, technically never had an injury. He's only missed 2 games in his career.
It was a virus and tiredness, wasn't it?
And abductor pain.
Yeah, pain.
So he's missed 2 games in his whole career. People are saying, welcome to the Tottenham medical team.
Well, yeah, exactly. We heard all this with Dom Solanke before
It's
he
true.
came to Spurs
He
as
didn't have
well.
a single injury just but when he signed from Bournemouth, did he? So I guess we're jinxing it by saying it, but he hasn't had a injury, really, proper injury in his career. He has crazy ability to stay fit. So that's something that's going to stand in good stead if you can translate that to Tottenham.
Yeah, I hope so. And it just makes us a lot stronger in the forward line, having someone like Randall Kolo Muani. I think he offers something different to our number 9s right now, and I think he's someone that Frank is going to get on swimmingly with. And I think, we're going to see, I don't know about the best version of Randall Kolo Muani, because I think it will take him time to get there, because, I think he needs to build his confidence. He needs to build his kind of relationship with his teammates. He needs to get used to the Premier League as well. So I think it might be a little bit of an adjustment period as well. But having said that, he didn't need that adjustment period when he went to Serie A and he went to Juventus. He completely hit the ground running, didn't he? So, I mean, if he can do that, wow.
I mean, I'll take 5 goals in his first 3 games.
Yeah.
I'll take that. He did go, look, it's also important to know he did go off the boil a bit after that.
Do you think he comes straight in and starts against West Ham?
Probably not. He's probably on the bench.
Villarreal?
Yeah, I reckon he starts one of those games. Because you got to, I think Frank said it himself, you've got to be careful, Richie. Obviously, it depends what the status is with Solanke, but assuming he's out for, let's say, at least a month.
Yeah.
Then... yeah, he's got to be. He has going to have to be rotated with Rishi. You can't play Rishi every game, can you?
Yeah,
we know that.
Yeah,
so he'll have his game time. He'll get his chance early on, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I see him coming off the bench last 20 minutes against West Ham. If he can come off the bench against West Ham and score the winner,
instant hero.
Himself, you know what I mean? So.
And he's quite good in the air as well, by the way. He scores quite a few headers. He's quite tall. He's quite strong. So that's also a threat. He kind of has a threat with everything. I would say he's
got to have some sort of weakness. We haven't talked about one weakness.
Yeah, as I said, I think he can be quite clunky. He's not the most technical. Like, he relies a lot on his physical attributes to get him an advantage. He's not like one who's... I'm not saying he's not technical. He is technical, and he's like more like he's probably more technically gifted than a lot of players. But when you're comparing him to like the elite, he's not quite that standard. And like, he's good, he's got good control, but again, he kind of needs space. He kind of needs to run into a lot of space, and he's not one who's gonna maybe shoot from 25 yards and bend it into the top corner. I think his shooting, gets his shot off quickly, but I don't think his shooting technique isn't like amazing. Like, he's got decent shot on him. He's got a good shot on him, but I think Richie's finishing is better than his, to be honest. I think he's got a better shot on him.
An interesting dynamic as well, because he hasn't been called up to this French squad. So Frank's going to have him on the training pitch for now 2 weeks with not many players around. So he's going to be able to really hone in on him and coach him for these next 2 weeks. Whereas someone like Javi Simons, he's off to Netherlands now. He's not going to have much time with his teammates before that West Ham game.
Apart from Van der Ven.
Yeah, he's going to be with Van der Ven, obviously, and the Netherlands.
Yeah, so that's another important point. It's a World Cup year for him as well.
Yeah.
So obviously he's going to be desperate to. He went to the last World Cup. Obviously he had that big moment in the final. Everyone remembers.
Yeah.
He did well. Yeah, he did well. I think he came off the bench. Was it Morocco? He scored.
Didn't end well for him, but he did well.
I'm trying to remember. Like, I remember there was one game he came on and scored the winner. Was it Morocco?
Semi-final.
Yeah, Morocco. He scored. I remember one. I think in the Euros as well.
Semi-final
against Belgium.
He scored in 2 semi-finals of 2 international tournaments.
So he obviously missed that big chance against Argentina, but he came on and made an impact in that game.
It was his chance, wasn't it? Was it his chance with that Martinez famous save?
Yeah, that was him.
Yeah,
that was Muani. So obviously he has that also counts against him when people see him as this big bottler, but I don't see him as that at all.
Yeah, I mean, look, this happens to many players.
Messi's had moments like that.
I remember Messi missing a penalty in a Champions League latter stages, and Barcelona.
Ronaldo's missed a penalty in the Champions League final from United.
So look, it happens. It happens, but actually, Muani has had big moments in big games, semi-finals, World Cup, semi-finals of the Euros. I'm sure he's had big moments with Frankfurt as well within that period when he was there. So I think, it seems like for me, he could be a big game player.
Yeah, and he's one thing's for certain though, he always seems to make an impact. You see, even if he's there to miss the chance, he seems to be there. You know what I mean? There are some strikers who come on and are anonymous. I think he's not that guy. He's gonna always put himself in those situations, either to score the winner, or to even if it's to miss a chance, he puts himself in that situation constantly with his good movement and is always involved. And I like that in a player. I definitely like that in a player.
Yeah.
I had a comparison to Richarlison, it's gone, but I have one to Solanke here. So this is how he compares to Solanke, kind of in the stats. You can forget the other one. This one's this one's a more important one. So what you can see there, you can see he's basically he's very good up against Solanke in a lot of metrics, especially with his dribbling, his shooting, defensively. Solanke seems to make more tackles, inceptions, and he seems to kind of create more shooting opportunities from getting tackles and stuff. But when it comes to his dribbling, carrying, passing even, and shooting, he definitely outperforms Solanke in a lot of those aspects. So I think he is potentially going to offer more than Solanke, potentially. In terms of what the data is suggesting, I think he's a better dribbler than him. I think he gets his shots off quicker than him. I think he's more creative than him because of the way he dribbles as well. I think Solanke definitely is stronger, has better hold-up play, and is probably a better presser. So I think they offer different things.
He's a good presser, though.
He's a workhorse, but I think Solanke's an elite presser.
The thing is with Solanke, he's been okay, but that's about it. I don't think he's been a great striker for us as of yet. Last season, I think was a bit of a disappointment. When you're looking
expected more goals, didn't we?
We expected more from Solanke. I expected him to be a lot better in front of goal. And I've been really disappointed with how poor his finishing actually is, or was last season.
I have to say, from what I've seen, he's definitely just a bit of an average player in front of goal.
Yeah.
That's the truth. He takes an age to get his shots off, and his shots get blocked. Well, it seems as though his finishing, when he just has the keeper to beat, can be decent. But it's like when he has defenders in front of him, he never gets it past them.
Yeah, and I feel like with Solanke, the biggest praise that we've given him all season is that he works hard.
He is an elite presser. There's very few.
Yeah, but that's the kind of the only thing that we've really given him praise for is he works hard, and you need so much more than that as a number 9. I
understand that, but it's not more. It's more than just working hard. He creates opportunities from his pressing. He's very, very good, and he's
still
non-stop.
not enough.
No, it's not enough. But that is something that needs praise.
100%. But like I said, it is not enough from a number 9. You need your number 9 to get consistent goals as well.
Yeah,
and he didn't do that.
I think in all competitions, I think his probably goals per 90 isn't terrible, Solanke. But in the Premier League, it was 9 goals. But then he did have a 3-month injury.
Yeah.
So I think that played his part. But yeah, I agree. In front of goal, we need more from him.
Yeah. So look, that is the stats behind Randall Kolo Muani, and if you hadn't guessed already, I think we're a little bit excited to see him on the pitch for Tottenham Hotspur, our new number 39. And it's a bit frustrating that it's international breaks. I just want to get going this weekend and see him in a Spurs shirt. But we are going to have to wait for that West Ham game. And if he can come on and score or start and score in a London derby on his debut, will be brilliant to see.
But we have completely revolutionised our front line. It doesn't feel like it by people's reactions, but Simons, Kudus and Muani has completely changed up our front line from last season.
It's true. It's true. And I think I'm very happy with the quality that we have brought in. I think obviously it's come with its kind of casualties, because if we would have had Maddison in there and Decky in there as well,
I know. Then all of a sudden you're talking about
a really strong forward line.
You're talking about that's up there with some of the best in the league if we had those available.
But now you're looking at it without them. I think we're looking fairly weak on the left hand side. An injury to Kudus away from not looking so strong on the wings. So. Look, we have done well in terms of the players that we brought in. I was just a bit disappointed that we didn't bring in more than what we did bring in. But then again, looking back at the Champions League squad, it would have been hard to fit everyone in. So look, that's Kolo Muani. Very excited to see him get going, and let us know your thoughts on if you think he's going to be a success at Tottenham Hotspur in the comment section below. And if he is a success, it'll be interesting to see if we do try and make that deal with PSG, because there's no option, there's no obligation, there's no nothing in the loan deal.
Yeah, but I reckon knowing Levy, he'll probably get a decent price out of him. Because look, PSG don't want him. I don't know what the deal is with Juve, but I wouldn't be surprised if we got a good deal out of it, like a good price out of it.